You're presenting the people who...
The governance committee selected the top 2 law firms that we were interested in. The Kenyon Dyson law firm in Chris Bacha. Hi. And representing Carol Morse or Morse Law and Summit Law is Carol Morse, and
I'm Jennifer Robertson. I work with Carol.
hi. And so they're here to answer any questions that the council might have. How should we do it?
Maybe invite each one of them up.
Okay. Chris, would you like to come first?
Sure.
Thanks.
Did you want to ask questions, or do you want to have me talk first?
Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure.
Your firm.
And first of all, thank you for the opportunity to present a proposal to you and be here tonight. Our firm was organized in 1993 as a municipal law firm, which means that we only represent municipalities. We don't represent developers or other parties for the most part. And that's something unique to our firm, I would say. I've been practicing municipal law virtually all of my career since I started as an intern in the city of Tacoma in 1985. I knew Amy when I was working for the city of Tacoma from 85 till basically 2007, and then came to work for Kenyon Dyson. I worked as city attorney for the city of Burien, the city of Black Diamond, currently the city attorney in the city of Ording, formerly the city attorney in the city of Algona. You might have heard of that place. And municipal law is what I love to do. As municipal lawyers, we basically are responsible for answering questions involving every municipal issue, from human resources issues to contract issues to development issues. In my career, I've worked on public development projects, public-private development projects. I know that was a question that was asked. I worked, after I left the city of Tacoma, I was hired back to negotiate the lease for the redevelopment and lease of the Cheney Stadium in Tacoma, a public-private development project. I also worked on development projects along the Foss Waterway for the city of Tacoma, worked on development projects for the city of Burien, the city of Aquila. Just done a little bit of everything: contracting, public works, finance, currently representing 11 cities in a litigation involving a tax refund claim, representing another city in another separate tax refund claim. That's been going on for about 3 years or so now. So that's a little bit about me. Happy to answer any questions. Sure.
In your RFP, you submitted 2 price structures. One was for 30 hours and a price, and the other was for 40 hours. If we were to choose the 30 hours but went over, could we then go to the 40 hours here? Or do we have to choose one or the other?
You want to negotiate right now?
No, I'm just questioning because it wasn't clear.
Our proposal was based initially on the assumption of 40 hours, but I put the 30-hour option in because there are benefits and burdens to 40 hours. If you have a retainer, assuming 40 hours, and you're not getting that much work, you're still paying for it. So it might make more sense to use 30-hour work week or work month as a basis for moving forward. We could also adjust the contract. Our experience has been it really takes 6 to 8 months to figure out what that level is, and it goes up and down. Some months might be more, some months might be less. So we wanted to offer you opportunities to look at contract terms that would minimize the cost impact and be the best benefit for you. So we're happy to structure that however you want.
Thank you.
Any questions? So within your firm, do you have, like you said, land use and other things, do you have like contract negotiation experience for labor unions, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so let me explain a little bit about that. We have basically 10 lawyers in our firm. One of them is of counsel. He recently was a partner and left being a partner so he could be of counsel and kind of work part-time. That's Bruce Decent in the Kenyon Decent. He's remaining on with the firm to do our labor negotiations and a lot of our employment and labor law related issues. We also have another partner in the firm that does labor and employment law related issues. Every attorney in our office does them to one degree or another. The benefit of having a larger firm with the 10 lawyers that we have and 5 staff is that if you can't get a hold of me, or if I don't have the time or the specialty to work on a particular area, whether it's land use or HR or negotiations, there are other attorneys in our office that do that work. And so if you can't get a hold of me, you just go down the chain. So that's one of the benefits of having a firm the size of our firm, but it's also not so big that there's a lot of overhead. In fact, I don't go to the office much. We have a bare bones office, all that we need to house the folks that are there when they need to be. Because of the nature of the work that we do, it's very transient. We're moving from one jurisdiction to another. So I actually work out of my home in Pierce County. It's about 20, 25 minutes from here. So we have attorneys available when I'm not here or I don't have the specialty knowledge to work on a particular issue.
I also see that the rates vary depending on your partner.
Right.
How does that figure into the flat rate for this?
That's a good question. I would be the assigned city attorney, so the flat rate would be based upon my hourly rate, but if we have other attorneys that are putting in hours, they would be billed at their rate. And we can work on however you want to adjust that. We have attorneys that are less experienced in our firm. They're still experienced lawyers, they just charge a lesser rate. So one of the things I would try to do if you want to do this is have some of those attorneys working on some of the issues for you to keep the costs down.
How much stability do you have on your staff, the people below your level, the paralegals, the less experienced attorneys? Is that something where we would be getting the same people if we kept you on for year after year? Do you have much turnover there, or are you stable?
Well, that's a good question. I can tell you that our staff, we have some of our staff members have been there since 93, 94. Our office manager / paralegal was there when the firm started. Another one of our paralegals was also there when the firm started. Obviously, Mr. Kenyon, the principal of the firm, was there in 1993. Shelley Kerslake, the other partner, started, I think, probably around 2005. I've been there for the last 7 years. And we've recently hired some folks, partly to replace Bruce, because people do retire. So we brought them on staff to do some of the work that he's done. And again, he's still remaining on staff to do a lot of the labor negotiations, because that does take a certain amount of experience and understanding of how to deal with labor issues. But staff does turn over. That happens. I can't really tell you that there aren't going to be folks that come and go. But what we try to do is make sure that we provide a good environment for them to work in. We mentor them. We make sure we proof their work so that we know what's going out the door. And we make sure we hire competent and skilled people that can do the work.
So do you personally represent then the other municipalities that you were listed, or are they divided amongst the other members of the group?
You're talking about all of the entities that are listed in our proposal. I don't represent them all.
Any of them, I guess.
I represent currently as city attorney the city of Ording. I also represent an entity called the Portal Agency. It's a nonprofit. It may be the only one in the state. It's organized as a municipal nonprofit. I don't know if you're familiar with the Water Alliance that was formed a few years ago. That was a nonprofit. It's since become a different type of entity. So that's the other municipality, if you will, that I represent directly as city attorney. But I also do work for all of our clients. I do a lot of the franchising and regulatory work, the rail work, the common carrier regulation work, the telecommunications and cable work for all of our clients. We also do work for clients that are outside of the pool of cities that we represent as city attorney. And there's just a long list of those work. So we do a lot of project work.
Another thing I can think of, I was just reading up some of the conflict of interest. I mean, so many cities involved and other entities your firm might be involved in. If we ran into a situation where an issue that you were representing the city, that it was a conflict with your, what kind of aspects would we do or see to get that resolved?
That happens from time to time, and it might particularly happen with the city of Algona. I know when I was there as the city attorney, Algona has an agreement with the City of Pacific for services, and I worked with your former city attorney, I think it was Al Abawan, through an agreement. I don't know if it ever got finalized because I think there was still some disagreement over how to resolve that. But if an issue like that arose, we would first of all identify the conflict. And some conflicts can be waived by the parties, some can't. And if it's a situation where the conflict can't be waived, then we would have to advise you to retain outside counsel to represent the city on that particular issue, and we would do the same for the other clients. So we would not be able to represent either in those issues.
Further questions?
It's a lot of information. A lot of reasons. I'm good.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Sure, no problem. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Carol Morse, and I'm with Morris Law. I brought Jennifer Robertson with me. She's my associate. I'm proposing to be the city attorney in the City of Pacific. I've got over 25 years of experience as a city attorney, from cities as large as Seattle to as small as Hunts Point. Right now I'm the Black Diamond city attorney and also the Vader city attorney. I also do the land use litigation for the Association of Washington Cities Risk Management Insurance Agency, which is your insurance pool. And I've been doing that since 1994. So I am really hoping to work with you guys because I have been assisting Ken and Jim Morgan on some street issues and fire code issues, marijuana issues. The other reason why I'm here is that I drafted a model code that involves a number of chapters that you could put into your development code with very little modification. And even though I did not propose to have a flat fee in our proposal, instead I do have to bill hourly, I think that you will see a significant savings because these ordinances will not have to be drafted by the attorney. We're just going to tailor them for the City of Pacific and move them right into your codes. So I also want to have Jennifer say a few things before you start the questions. Jennifer?
Thank you. Thank you for having us tonight. It's really a pleasure to be here. Between Carol and I, we have over 40 years of experience working with cities. One thing that's a little bit different about me, as you may have seen from the materials, is that in addition to being a city attorney, I'm currently city attorney for the city of Ruston, is that I'm also an elected official in the city of Bellevue. And my 11 years as a public official in Bellevue has really, I think, made me a much better legal counsel to cities because I see solutions to problems that aren't just narrowly focused on legal, and I've been able to advise my clients. Sometimes there's a better answer than just the straight legal answer. It's, if you do this, you work with this, collaborate with this other municipality, you can get a better result. And so that's made me a better legal counselor to my clients because I do see those other solutions. And I do serve on some regional boards where I really know what's going on in the region. It also, I think, makes me a better city attorney because I know very, very well where the line is between policymaker and staff. I'm a policymaker in Bellevue, but I'm staff for the city of Ruston, and so my work as a city attorney is to give my clients the best service and the best advice, and it's up to the policymakers to decide which of that advice they want to take, and I'm very clear on that, and I think it makes me a better counselor to my clients. And we're happy to take some questions, but I just wanted to say a few things because that's probably not the average attorney applicant background. So.
Considering that the other firm has multiple layers of attorneys and backgrounds, so what would the two-party attorneys, what will you bring that would be different as far as beneficial?
Well, let me tell you one thing. You can always get a hold of me.
24 hours a day. You don't need to go through any other attorneys at the firm. I'll be using Jennifer on a as-needed basis, but you will always have my phone number, and you can always reach me 24 hours a day.
And I would add that the benefit of this smaller firm is that you will get to know the attorneys that work with you very well. We'll get to know you, and it means that we can really provide the service that you expect because we will learn what that is. So.
How does the partnership with Summit Law work as far as labor negotiations, and do they bill us directly, do they bill us through you?
Yeah, it's not really a partnership that we have with them, but the fact is that I realized a long time ago that I could really be a good city attorney if I focused on the majority of the work that comes to the city attorney, and that personnel and land use were the largest areas of liability exposure for cities. I could not become an expert in both. So we don't have the personnel experience, but Summit Law has offered to provide that, and they would bill directly. And Sophia Mabee was the attorney proposed for that. She couldn't be here tonight. She had another commitment. But that's how it would work. Very little of the work involved with city attorneys is personnel unless you have, major problems.
We never shared that. Not anymore. Sophia, you said was the...
Sophia Mabee, yes, right.
And we've worked with several law in the past.
Questions? Hopefully this wouldn't arise, but in a case where there was some conflict between, or disagreement between the city and AVSC, where you've provided their information and background for something, if we came up with something different, if there was some conflict there, how would you propose dealing with that issue?
You mean with the insurance pool?
Yes.
Oh, well, what would happen with that is that if you had a lawsuit, it was referred to the pool, then they would decide which attorney would be hired to defend you in that. Right now, they have a number of attorneys. In most instances, they hire me to do the land use work, so they could hire me to handle it. If that happened, that would result in a substantial cost savings to you because I would already have the background, and another attorney would not have to be brought up to speed on that. But I can tell you that in all my years working with them since 1994, and I've handled a substantial number of cases, we haven't had a disagreement. We've gotten a relationship where I think they trust me, and so if I tell them this is what the city needs, this is what we need to do, I haven't heard, there isn't really a problem there. The other thing about the pool, and you probably know this, it's much different than other pools. You have much more coverage. For instance, land use cases, you have coverage for LUPAs, and the other insurance pools don't provide that. It's my understanding that the insurance pool now provides coverage for public records cases as well, lawsuits as well. So I'd like to tell you there's a way to work that out, but the fact is, I haven't seen it come up.
That's a better answer than if you had a well-practiced system for resolving it.
What cities have you been city attorney representative for?
Let me see if I can remember.
No, that to be exact here.
Okay, well,
Just a rough.
city attorney, I was city attorney in Gig Harbor for 14 years. Hunts Point, Carnation, Black Diamond, Ruston, and Jennifer has Ruston now, Vader, Flama, and of course, assistant city attorney in Waffle, Mukilteo, Issaquah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it wouldn't be,
Okay,
yeah.
my question is.
Yeah, working at Ogden Murphy Wallace, I was there for a while as a partner there, and they have a number of municipal clients. And as Mr. Baca said, our firm only represents municipalities. We don't represent any developers. We don't represent very few property owners, but those are all people who are outside of the jurisdiction of the cities that we represent.
Other questions?
Can I just make one last comment, and that is, I know you are concerned about cost, and And my suggestion is that even though we can't offer a fixed fee, that you try and call our clients and just talk to them about how we've been able to keep the cost savings down, or the cost for them down. I think we've done a really good job keeping bills very low because we work for very small cities, and we work with cities that have problems, with codes and other issues trying to make their bills. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much for